Hello, Scott here, and welcome to yet another completely unprofessional unboxing. And what we have here is yet another entry into what I might consider to be my ever increasing RPG midlife crisis. So thank you for accompanying with me through this particular situation as I try to pull things from my past to add to my collection, and also things new. I'm not just old school, but there seems to be a running theme for this month. As you know, the prior ones I've done has been Dragon magazines and Gamma World, and more recently 3.5. I did a pull from the shelf for second edition. So this one is going to fall in the same category of that, but just to be fair, I do have newer RPGs, brand new ones to be fair, some rare runs and other things to go through. That's either going to be a pull from the shelf or an unboxing as I get to them. So without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and start to unbox this. I have my, trusty Coleman steak knife here to get me through this thing. This particular package is pretty big because this one has two things inside of it. And what they are is going to be pretty cool, at least for me. It is something from my past. I'm looking forward to kind of having a quick look through here in the unboxing video. But the big thing, though, is, as I may have mentioned through my unboxing and as I've done add to my collection, I'm constantly looking for a variety of deals. Now, mind you, eBay is not the best, but it's hard to find good deals for RPGs, at least through the internet. A lot of people have a variety of game stores, thrift book stores that carry these things. I don't really have that in the area that I'm in here in Southern California without venturing too far. So I scour the interwebs, and on occasion, I will find these things, and it surprises me, and it's always a wonder when they actually get fulfilled that I found this and no one else did. So I'm going to open this, and then I'll tell you about how I obtained these items. So, trusty steak knife here. Sorry for pulling away from the mic. Oh, by the way, before I continue, I am using a new sound system. Granted, I'm still maintain that this is an unprofessional unboxing, no script involved, completely off the cuff. But what I am upgrading professionally somewhat is my camera and my mic with my sound system. So if the sound sounds a little off, please let me know. I am not a sound person. I am not an audiophile. I am not a video person. I am not. So if the camera seems off, if the sound seems off, let me know. It's not going to hurt my feelings. It may sound fine to me, but it may not sound fine to everyone else. So but everything sounds good. Even just drop me a line. Say, hey, spot on. Everything sounds great. Can carry on as you were. So, steak knife unboxing. Okay, easy enough. We roll into 2022 without any injuries. And there we are. Okay. And all right, wonderfully packaged. Whoops, hit the mic there. Thank you so much for that. And we'll kind of lift these out. Yep, there are the two items in there. No personal information. No, that's face down. Great. So let's move the box aside and continue on. Okay, so let's see if we can separate these. Turn this to the side. I do apologize for things like this. It's very nice to have these things professionally wrapped as they are, but it doesn't make for good watching. So, and cut through that there, and cut through that. Oof. All right. Once we get through that, I can just rip through the bubble wrap. But not too much, because I like to hold on to this. And for those of you, you can probably already see through the bubble wrap what is underneath. Oh, here we are. almost there with the first one. We are going to slide this one out. Almost there. Almost there. Boom, boom, boom. All right. So the first one we have here is the Ravenloft box set. This was the not necessarily the first printing, the first rendition of it. There's going to be, there was another one that came after this one, but this was the original box set. But for now, I'm going to set this one aside and open up this one. And you can probably see the logo already through there. This obviously is another Ravenloft box, but what one is it? Cut there. Oh, shit. Shaking everything. All right. And surprise, surprise, it is the second printing, or the second run of the Ravenloft setting. And I put that in the camera there. There you go. All right. So, yeah, I was able to obtain both of these box sets essentially for 2-for-1 special, so to speak. This was one of those where someone was selling them both as a group. The cost to me to provide this was well under what you would pay not only for both of these, but well under what you would pay for this one, which is the more popular one right now, just because of what it contains. How I found this, I have no clue. I just go in there, type in things, search for things. But like most things where I find deals, this did not come necessarily from a game store. It came from a collector's store, but it seemed like it was a mixture of comic books, a few games, and another mishmash of other things they're just selling. So once again, this kind of falls into someone who may have gained something from somebody passed away, somebody gave it to them, someone found something, someone cleared out a closet of someone's old crap, and they just decided to throw it up to get rid of it. I am absolutely shocked and amazed that I was able to get both of these because, let's be perfectly honest, Ravenloft is a hot item right now with the printing and publishing of the Van Richten's Guide to Ravenloft in 5th edition. It's widely popular. Of course, the Curse of Strahd, one of the better campaign adventures for 5th edition. Probably the best one in my opinion, but that's we're not here to debate that. And of course, with other things Ravenloft, there is or I should say with other things 5e, there's a bit of controversy involved. As far as, let's see if I can frame that better. There we go, right there. Seems like my camera might have moved a little bit. Oh, well, I'll live. Ignore my dog. But anyways, yeah, so bit of controversy, as there seems to be these days with anything that comes out from WotC. So there's are people who were in a rush to reintroduce themselves to the old version of Ravenloft, to grab these versions of Ravenloft before the collector's prices skyrocketed, as they tend to do. And also for those who maybe felt like the current iteration of Ravenloft was a bad representation of it. Whatever, it's your game. Don't really care. Ravenloft could, the mists of Ravenloft could be, pink and purple, and Strahd can have a unicorn horn. Don't care. You do you. Let everyone else do their own thing, and everyone will be happy. But so back to this. So with these, of course, there's going to be some duplicates. Essentially, this was kind of a reissue of this with some extras thrown in there, some new map designs and whatnot, maybe some extra information. But there's also some things in the original box set that weren't included in here. But they both together make up a wonderful collaboration of at least what Ravenloft was to me when I discovered it when it came out back in the day. So let's see here. So kind of what we'll do is I don't know. I think I still need to work on the new camera with this. Um, There we go. I think it might be a little off-centered here. Let's see if I can fix that. That's a little bit better. Learn as we go. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is just gonna go through these just to kind of like point out and see what they come with. Once again, apologies for my dog. I have no idea who he's barking at. He is just barely a year old. So someone can fart 4 miles away and he'll bark for 15 minutes because he hurt somebody. So hopefully it's not too much of a distraction. So I'm going to set this one aside and going to go ahead and open the original box set, and then we'll go through the other one in just a moment. Okay, so yeah, I'm still kind of off center here, but bear with me. All right, we'll open this up. Oh, very nice. They've put a little bubble wrap inside. Thank you so much. Set this here for now. Put that back into frame. Okay, and all right. So first off, we have within here we have the Realm of Terror. This would be the general information within Ravenloft. As we look here, we have the introduction chapter, which describes from Gothic roots. Chapter 2, the Demiplate of Dread. Ravenloft was no longer a location, but a realm. A Demiplate of Dread is essentially a place where some of the most horrible people in the history of Dungeons and Dragons were cast out to and forced to, live in their own realm of influence, but almost as a punishment, as if they were in their own hell or stuck in some sort of, pandemonium or whatever the case may be. Details therein. As far as we've got Chapter 3, Reshaping of Characters, your standard characters would be allowed to exist within Ravenloft, but there's going to be changes. Changes to how these characters function and how they affect the things around them when they're in the Demiplane of Dread. Fear and horror checks introduced. Obviously, this is a Gothic horror setting, so things such as fear, horror, normal things that your heroes in Dungeons and Dragons really wouldn't be concerned with too much, unless it was a spell. Or other things like, in Dragonlance where there was a thing such as dragon fear, but, this was all-encompassing within this particular setting. Next up, we go into a description of werebeasts and vampires. We go into Chapter 6 with curses, Chapter 7 with gypsies, Chapter 8 with telling the future, Chapter 9, spells in Ravenloft, how they work. Some spells were modified and some spells were changed. Some spells may or may not work the way that you're used to while you're there. Magic items from Ravenloft, and then as we go through the lands of the core, as we see here, we've got it speaks of the initial 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35. 35 different lands within the realms of Ravenloft. If I miscounted, deal with it. And then it goes on to the next chapter, 13, with the who's who. Who are the doomed within the realms of Ravenloft. A variety of personalities. And these personalities, of course, come in all shapes and sizes, character classes, backgrounds, different realms within the worlds of Dungeons and Dragons. Some completely new. Some may have existed prior. Not really too many. I mean, the two off the top of my head, of course, is Strahd, and then, of course, Strahd and Lord Soth, the Death Knight from Ravenloft. So next up, we have bloodlines. There are, families involved, a very, corrupt families that have a horrible background. Some, that, don't, the first one that comes to me is like, an example of this would be the Amberville family from Castle Amber. They were twisted and crazy and insane, but these are even more so within here. Mind you, I'm going off of a very vague memory that's probably as clouded as the mists of Ravenloft. So I'm going to need to reread this to kind of re-up on what's actually going on here. And then we have techniques of terror, ways to help your DM, show to you and provide to you the proper experience within Ravenloft, adventure ideas, new monsters that exist exclusively, and of course, tables in the background. One of the things that I love a lot about Ravenloft was the black and white artwork within here. The gothic aspects of it to me as as a younger child, I'm not a baby, but as a youngish man, seeing these images really evoked, really did evoke the gothic horror aspect that comes in there, the black and white, and kind of how the old monster movies were. They were in black and white. They had a definite look to them, the way the light was handled and captured. Not photorealistic and picture perfect, but really kind of, gave you a sense of terror, a sense of pending doom, a sense of gothic horror. So kind of flipping through, we've got inspirations here, suggested reading. Let's see, what did they suggest at the time? The Haunting of Hill House, Frankenstein, Dracula, The Island of Dr. Moreau, The Strange Case of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, all standards. Dark Tales, we have Blackwood, Algernon Stories, or Algernon, I don't know, George Byron, Fragments of a Novel, J. Sheridan Le Fanu, Carmela and Green Tea, the H.P. Lovecraft stories, Edgar Allan Poe, of course, John Polidori, The Vampire, and Bram Stoker, Dracula's Guest. Okay, so I'll just kind of give a little flip through here. So Strahd's imagery has evolved over the years. When this came out, he obviously was still maintained the more classic, vampire aesthetic. The cowl, the cape, the slicked back hair, the kind of, greenish skin tone to him and whatnot, and that's maintained here throughout this particular version, and of course the infamous widowspeak that came with it. The newer Strahd has changed. I'm not going to say I'm a giant fan of it, but I don't think it's horrible in itself also. Each to their own, as I always say. So let's see here. So we're going through the reshaping of your characters. Beautiful artwork. Oh God, that's walking around with the head in his hand. I mean, like I said, there's these little images that will pop up in this book that may in certain other D&D books they kind of like are just filler. But to me, every one of these black and white pictures within here are excellent. And I'm going to take a moment and go back because see where it references. Does it reference? Here we are, credits. Interior art, Stephen Fabian. Yes. And then, of course, Thomas Baxa. Okay, so description of Werebeasts and Vampires. And another depiction of, the three vampires, the consorts of, what would be Strahd, but of course, they could easily be reflective of the consorts of Dracula, with what would be possibly Jonathan Harker here, but within the game itself, someone totally different. God, I love that. My computer just beeped. I don't know why. Hopefully you didn't hear that, but if you did, I apologize. We have information on the Gypsies, or otherwise known as the Vistani. A little bit of, questionable controversy. I haven't read this in a long time. Of course, there's certain things in here that may have been reflective of certain things at the time. They have been modified and changed in the newer versions of Ravenloft, and to kind of remove some of what would be considered a racist point of view regarding gypsies in our own history. Once again, I can't really attest to that. It's been a while since I've read this, But, change is good. And if change is for the better, change is for the better. Once again, sound like a broken record. Do what you will at your table if it makes other people happy. But, hold on a minute. Let me just pause that as long as you're not being a racist asshole. I mean, obliquely or just overtly racist, no. Don't even bring that shit to the table. But I mean, if your gypsies are dancing around the campfire, shaking a tambourine when your characters meet them, I don't know. That's, to me, that doesn't really seem to be that much of a big deal, but whatever the case may be. So, gazing into the crystal ball when gypsies tell lies, telling the future. Obviously, telling the future plays a part in this game. The deck of there would be a deck of cards that were that you would I believe it came in here in Punch Out or Cuts Out. It may have been the other one. We'll find out in a moment. And just kind of continuing on. So I'm going to try not to make this a long unboxing video here. Lands of the Core. Wonderful shot there of, one of many castles you'll find in Ravenloft. And continuing on, Aslan, the famous Lich, and flipping through, and then Strahd von Zarovich, as I said, with the more classic vampire aesthetic there. And we go through the bloodlines of the different families, or those that have families here, and techniques in horror when running Ravenloft. And there we go. Oh, and then we've got the second edition monster sheets. What do we have here? What came with Ravenloft? Let's see. We've got a Geist. We got a Grimishka. We've got the Loop Guru. The French or the New Orleans version of a werewolf. Wonder if they had it here. One of the many things, one of the many tales about the Loop Guru is if I'm not mistaken, if you kill it, or if you're able to kill it, it tells you its secret that and then you are essentially cursed. And if you reveal that you or they were a Loop Guru within a year, you would be cursed to become one yourself. So you had to keep that a secret for a year, or to be stuck with you. I may have completely butchered that. So let's see here. We have the Strahd skeletons, Strahd zombies, and then we've got Nosferatu vampires. Okay. That aside here. And my favorite part of any box set or any RPG, if they do have them available, are the maps. I'll probably fade out here for a moment while I kind of open this up. And there we are, the Land of the Mists. And then it's not going to come through because it's too big, but surrounding the maps here, we've got a lot of the personalities of Ravenloft here, and we've got the division of the different lands here, so to speak. Beautiful map, and there's going to fade out here again as I kind of lean back to other side. And we've got on the back information. Essentially it's the Lords of Ravenloft, Techniques of Terror, beginning a Ravenloft campaign. So essentially there's information on the back that would be pertinent to a GM screen or a DM screen, but at least the information's there for you to get without having to flip through the book, which is always nice. Now, this is interesting. Am I mistaken? Did this map come with the other box set? Could be wrong. We'll find out. But so there's the first half of the map here, and we're going to flip over to the other side. So the lands were connected, interconnected. Okay, so yeah, this has got to be the first one, I think. So the lands were actually connected, whereas in the other edition, the lands were connected in the realms of the mist, but they were kind of like islands unto themselves. They didn't have these natural borders between them. As I said many times, I could be wrong. So once again, but it's still a wonderful map. Brings back memories. And then for me, skipping, throw the books out, throw the lore out, throw the game out. The most inspirational thing, at least for me, is looking at these maps that these wonderful people have created and taken the time to do, and just going, ooh, what's this? What's that? I want to go there, or I want my characters to go there, or my players are looking on here, and Scott, you're running Ravenloft. We want to go check this out, and I love that because it's just so inspirational. Just the wanderlust, the call to adventure that a good map can portray or can provide you in an RPG is always fantastic. Screw it, I'll fold that up later. So we've got additional maps here, various locations around Ravenloft as we continue. These are cities in different realms, it looks like. And we've got more, and these don't have anything in the back, but different villages and towns, depending on where you're at within the realms of Ravenloft. And then we have the information cards here. So a lot of these, I don't know if this was a design choice, but of course the original Ravenloft adventure, the map of the castle was an isometric kind of 3D setting. Some people love it. Some people found it was difficult to traverse. And it kind of looked like it, at least, I mean, these aren't really maps. It's just the outside showing you, or notating what's on the inside for the DM. So you could provide, this picture to your players. But, the isometric aspect, this is nice to see for visual reference. But I, still would have preferred a regular map here, notating the different sections. So this is Mordenheim's estate. We have here Mercia's castle. And continuing on, we have the Marku or Mokau estate. We have Yagno Petruna's temple. Oh God, there's quite a bit of these. I probably won't go through them all, but you get the gist. So they're going to provide to you a 3D isometric version of of a variety of buildings within Ravenloft, with a smattering of information regarding them. And we continue on. Aslan's castle. As we flip through. And you can see that the architecture is going to change depending on the realm. And is that? Yes, that's the infamous Strahd's castle. Excuse me. Again, apologize for my dog. I have no idea what he's barking at. He's barking at shadows probably, or a leaf fell to the ground. And so just moving on from here, and then we've got the classic pictures and drawings from Ravenloft. So what would we have here? So it's just additional information, little cheat sheets for you in regards to helping you out rather than having it all on a GM screen, which is nice. Nice having these reference sheets here. Let's see, that's the classic image from Castle Ravenloft. This is obviously from this particular box set. This is from the second Ravenloft. And then, so then now we've come to some additional information sheets regarding the different families, I believe, within Ravenloft. Kind of flip those over. Yes. So additional reference card sheets, and I love these. These are so nice. This kind of stuff really helps. I mean, we are visual people. As wonderful as our imaginations are, it is nice to have visual representations within your game to kind of help everyone have a common foundation as they're going through the game. To help them visually represent some of the things they're seeing, especially people they're dealing with. And there we are. And then we have, yes, we have the hex grid to kind of help you along. Rather than put the hexes on the map, there was a little overlay that the older editions of D&D would have in their box sets, you know, just to help you along and, you know, allowed you to write on them without having to worry about damaging your map. And now, I couldn't tell you if this is incomplete or not. It may or may not be. It seems to be complete. The only thing that I think that might be missing from this could be some of the reference cards here. I do seem to remember that there may have been more, but I could be wrong. There may have been more maps, but not a giant deal. It seems to be fairly complete. Minor things like that I can always print out if I need to, or it could be in the other box that I'm going to go through here real quick. But yeah, so this is Ravenloft. This is what you were opening when this thing came out, and just this wonderful world of horror, and that gave off this wonderfully gothic vibe. It's like, God, this is something new. This is not, this is not a fantasy world of swords and knights and chivalry and dungeons and dragons. This is something different, and a lot of people really embrace this. This was a change. This is a change for the better. All right, so I'm going to set this aside. And go through this real quick, and then we will call it a day. Yeah, I think I need to work on this new camera angle. So, all right. So, sometime later, within the realms of second edition, the Ravenloft campaign box set was reissued. It did include most of the same materials as the first box set. If I'm not mistaken, though, that some of the maps were changed. As mentioned, I believe the realms were divided into these kind of floating islands, so to speak. We'll find out in a minute. And also an additional companion book that you would have bought separately for the first edition was included with this. So we shall see. Oh, and once again, thank you for packaging the inside. For those of you who sell their stuff, and maybe not professionally, but little things like this are nice. Throwing it into a bag, throwing some tape around and sending it on its way. Yeah, it's easier, but these little touches, are good to know that people care about what they're sending you, trying to make sure it arrives in the best possible way that it can. So yes, we start off here. Let me just kind of set this over here for a moment. I'm going to lay this flat. And all right, so we have the what would be considered the same book that was in there. So let's take a kind of little quick look and see what we've got here. Let's see here. So introducing introduction from Gothic Roots. So there seems to be a little bit more information in here, just kind of at first glance. I know a lot of it in here is going to be, is going to be identical to what's in there, which is fine. So I won't spend too much time with this, but it feels thicker, so there may be a couple of new things added into here, fixing some things. Obviously, a second edition doesn't just come out on its own. They may have modified or changed some things from the prior printing, but it seems to be a little bit thicker, so there's maybe a couple more spells. Here we go, dealing with psionics in Ravenloft. I don't remember if that was in that other one edition. And as we go to the very end, we have in the glossary Van Richten's overview of a variety of things within Ravenloft. So it seems in this particular edition, with your core book that came in the box set, you would have received some more information. Not wholly, reducing the previous set to the shelves in its entirety, but for the most part, shared information, so not really necessary to go back unless something was different or changes made within the new one that you didn't like. And then here is what came with this one. So this one was essentially a separate purchase from the original edition that they included in this one. Domains and Denizens. It's essentially just a companion book, to provide you with a little bit extra oomph within the realms of Ravenloft. And on an initial flip through of it, it does look like there may have been some repetitive material in there, but sometimes you just got to fill up that space. So the who's who of Doomed of Ravenloft, and mind you, there was some material that came out between this and the other this particular box set. So there may have been some additional members of the Doomed that were added to this. So Domains and Denizens and the Realm of Terror. So these were the two books that came with this particular box set. And then we have the sign up for the RPG Network today. Come on. Get more into your game. Get into the network. Only $25 for a 1-year membership. Fantastic. So I'm going to kind of fold this out. Yes. So I'm going to fade out as I lean back again. Sorry about that. Back in we go. Okay, so Lands of the Core. So no, I was mistaken. That a lot they were still maintained a separate border. I could have swore that they were divided up between different floating islands, but hey, I'm getting a bit old. So nice, very nice map. Absolutely nothing wrong with it. It doesn't seem to have as much detail as the other one does, but still a decent map. Set that aside. And okay, so yeah, so there were islands of the other realms. Okay, so they added realms to it. That's what it was. Yes. So they added realms to it, and these were separate. These were separate from the Ravenloft core area, and they kind of had their own individual areas that were weren't bordering the other main domains of Ravenloft. So Islands of Terror. Yep. Back. And what is this? The GM screen. There you go. So then it gave you with a wonderful, helpful GM screen. That's nice. Beautiful. Yeah, just the logo on it. Would have liked some art, but, beggars can't be choosers. We'll throw that back in there and put these back in. Okay, so throw this back on, and I'm just going to kind of flip this over just to see. So what came with this? The Realm of Terror, 160-page book of rules, which is in there. Domains and Denizens, 120 book describing the Dark Lands. Yep. 2 maps depicting the reshaped core domains and Islands of Terror. So yes, they are in there. A poster featuring a painting by artist Rob Ruppel. Not in there. I'll live. The Taroka Deck of beautifully illustrated cards for role-playing fortune telling. Not in there also. So now it's kind of making sense why this one and this one were combined, but also why it was at such a giant discount. Now, the Taroka Deck would have been nice for this, would have made it a complete set, but something I can print out, or there's other ways to obtain a Taroka Deck. It's not the end of the world. Can get it on its own these days. So, but everything you need in there to play is essentially there one way or another. So I'm not going to complain. It'd be different if some maps were missing. It'd be different if the core rules were missing, which is not, obviously renders it unusable. So I'm very happy with how this turned out, and just going to, where did I set the other one here? Sorry about this. Give me a sec. All right, so let's go ahead and put this one back, and I'm going to flip this over to see if it details what's in here also. So, yes, 144-page book, detailing deadly domains and shadowy settlements. Sounds about right. 24 full-color cardstock sheets featuring haunted castles, horde houses, and fiendish folk. And transparent map overlay for measuring distance in the realm of doom. So yeah, sounds like either everything or 99% of everything is in this one. So Reframe that. So there you go. What we have here is both the original Ravenloft box set and then the reissue of the second printing with some, for Advanced Dungeons and Dragons, second. One way or another, I'm kind of on a retro kick, as made clear by a plan for this year. I'm hoping to run the second edition campaign of The Night Below, introducing my son and his friends to 3.5 by their own asking, and may see if we kind of fold that into introducing them to Ravenloft and also hopefully getting them into Dark Sun. So that's going to be a full year, at least as far as family games go. As far as what I'm going to do with my friends and other people in regards to that, who knows? It's by the seat of my pants. So there we go. This is yet another completely unprofessional unboxing of the 2 Ravenloft box sets. Almost complete, but that Taroka deck I can get. So thank you for spending your time and delving into this with me as I continue through my complete RPG midlife crisis. Once again, my name is Scott. You can look for me on Twitter at Hail OrcusDorkus. Please check out my podcast that I do with Keith from Rolling Boxcars. Titterpigs, you can do a search of it. You'll find it just fine. There may be some information in the description. I forget if I do that or not. And also, what else? Yeah, that's about it. So have a wonderful day, and we will see you hopefully with another unboxing or a pull from the shelf. Take care.